And now you don't have Cortana in this game, but you are going to have some help, correct?
That's right. I mentioned that you are alone in the city. That's not strictly true. As soon as I take out this last fruit here, you can see that what we've got here is a really almost film noirish scene. The lighting is very dramatic. If you could hear the music, it's got a cool noirish vibe to it. We wanted to create a situation where there was a lot of inherent mystery in the city. But no, you're not by yourself. You actually have a friend. And if I turn the visor back on here, you'll see that the ringing phone is outlined in yellow. Important objects in the world show up as yellow in the visor. And if I answer the phone, I'll get in touch with your friend, the superintendent. Now, the superintendent is an AI that runs every system in the city. He collects the garbage, he sends you your power bill, you name it. He's the little machine intelligence that works the city. He's been damaged by the slip space rupture. He isn't as powerful as he could be, but he knows you're there, he's watching you, and he's got helpful information for you. And right off the bat in the game, the first thing the superintendent gives you is a map of the city.
That's definitely helpful.
Yep, it's a new feature for ODST, what we call the Visor database. So this HUD space information system. You can see as I move around the city that New Mombasa is easily the biggest Halo environment we've ever created. Filled with lots of interconnecting streets, wide open courtyards, basically a big non-linear playground that you can explore, looking for hints, all that sort of stuff.
And can you go anywhere at any time, or are you kind of following on rails?
No, we wanted to, again, hearkening back to Halo 1, we had a lot of really fun, big, non-linear environments in that game. Okay. And we wanted to create a place where that was also true. There are certain things that we do to help guide the player, but there are very few hard stops in the city. Once we let you free in the wide city, you're free to go anywhere you want. Of course, that's also really intimidating, too. It's very easy for people to get lost, and we didn't want that to happen. So on the left-hand side of the screen here, you'll see a variety of places that the superintendent has identified that he thinks are interesting. Tayari Plaza, you name it, including this especially interesting sounding thing, the Office of Naval Intelligence Alpha site over here. And if I scroll over to the Alpha site, you can see it's got this expanding blue circle. Well, that's what we call a beacon. And a beacon is just an area of interest where there might be a clue to the fate of one of your teammates.
So because it's so expansive, I mean, how's the travel aspect to it? Do you have hotspots where you can travel back and forth, or is it like you're going to have to sit there and trek throughout the entire city?
You do have to not just walk. We don't want to explain all the modes of transport that we're going to have.
Oh, you're
in the game,
good.
but there definitely is some
elephant travel.
Elephant travel, indeed. You know, when the game comes out, you'll realize just how true that almost was.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So just think about that for a little bit. So right at the beginning, you are just on your feet. And since this beacon is pretty far away, we've also given you the ability to set waypoints. Okay. So player-placed waypoints, you can put them wherever you want. Really easy to switch back and forth between them. Like I said at the beginning, or I hope I did, the campaign is all co-op. It has full support for co-op. Yep. So if you have 4 other ODSTs in the game, they can all place their own waypoints. You can switch back and forth between them. It's a really easy way to coordinate ambushes, set rally points, really coordinate your progress through the city. So I've got the beacon chosen, the Alpha site. I've got a waypoint set. I'll close down the Visor database. And you'll see now up in the compass, the blue diamond is my beacon, and the 2 green triangles are my waypoint. They all have distance to target information that shifts as you move around, and of course they'll swirl around on the compass to make sure they're reminding you of where you go.
And the superintendent is going to be helping guide you along the way as well, so you don't have to just rely on these, right?
Oh yeah, he's damaged, but he's smart. He knows what I picked, and he's actually going to help guide me there. So as I move forward, you'll see the superintendent is going to turn on some signs for me, help guide me along my way, and he's got other things that he can activate too that you'll see when you buy the full game.
Do you ever get to see the superintendent?
That would be a big letdown if you never did, I'd have to say.
It would.
Is he going to be hotter than Cortana?
Maybe. Depends on what you think hot is. If you think machine intelligence is or kind of sexy, then yes.
Well, I guess hot for me then.
Yes, me too. If you notice, the beacon that we've chosen is about 1 kilometer away. I don't want to waste your guys' time and walk there, so we'll just cheat and teleport really quick. Of course, this will never happen in the real game.
Also, kids, cheaters never prosper.
That's true.
Unless they work at Bungie.
Hey.
Oh.
So now we're much closer to the Oni alpha site. If I walk forward and you can see the meters counting down, as soon as I get inside the beacon, your HUD will change and flash blue, so you'll know that you're close to the clue. We're not just going to place the clue in the middle of the beacon. You've got to search a little bit for it. And again, this is where the visor is really useful. So I'll just kick that back on again.
Because you've said this is like a detective story, basically. It's not just a straight run-and-gun shooter. Right?
Exactly. They're very subtle, very simple sort of mystery solving, searching. It's not a puzzle game. It's not a stealth game, but there are just touches of that to give it the right feel. So we'll move up here. And here we found a clue. Again, outlined in yellow by our visor. Now we're about to leave the nighttime city, so you guys have any more questions about...
I think we want to see that awesome skyline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that looks really, really cool.
Yeah, you know, this is the Halo 3 engine, but we actually have never really developed a game in the same engine before.
Right.
And we found not only could we do a lot more than we initially thought we could, but really our artists got in and did some really, I mean, just beautiful work in the skyboxes especially, but really everywhere in the game. You'll see that stuff has changed since we dropped. The big space elevator is now in flames. There's this burning, mysterious building off in the distance. We don't know a lot about that, but maybe if we pick up the clue, we might find out a little bit more.
I'd say we should pick up that clue.
All right, sounds good. It's almost like you've seen this before.
Yeah. I know things.
It's true. It's good. It's good to be in the know.
So now this is the other part of the game where you were talking in the E3 demo, the press conference, that you're going to be flashing back to a different timeline. Can you talk about, that's where we're going right now. Can you kind of explain how that works?
Exactly. So at night in the city, you are the rookie. When you flash back in time, you're flashing back to a few hours before you wake up, and you're basically flashing back to different ODST members of your squad. In this case, you're going to flash back to Dutch and experience just a short amount of time from his point of view. This is 2 hours after the drop, so 4 hours before you wake up. And this is basically how the game works, flashing back to other ODSTs until the timelines converge and you solve the big mystery of the story.
Look, you want to do this? Be my guest. But this ain't a job you want to rush.
That do it?